Good morning everyone and welcome back to yet another video of mine. Today I'll be doing my first ever readathon on this channel, and it's the Summerween readathon. Now Halloween is literally my favourite time of year. The whole fall season is literally when I'm in my element. So Halloween is just the best thing. That's my cat. Halloween is just the best thing ever, and now having a readathon that kind of transitions into my favourite time of year. Perfect. Now today is the day the readathon actually starts, so this video will be fairly short as I have a lot of books to read. Also, don't forget to subscribe, it would really help me and mean a lot to me. Encourage me to continue filming videos, give it a like, a thumbs up, whatever you want to call it, and follow me on my social medias. So I'm not gonna talk too much and jump straight in, but not before mentioning the two founders of the Summerween readathon, and one of them is Gabby Reads. Absolutely adore her videos and I'm such a fan. And Olivia Reads a Latte, also another one of my favourite booktubers. Yeah, I'd say we start with the first book prompt. And it's, number one is a book with a creepy cover. I had a lot of books to choose from with creepy covers, but then I was thinking, what is considered a creepy cover? Does it have blood on it? Does it have to have a ghost on it? What defines creepy? I think everyone's idea of creepy is very different. So the book I chose is In the Woods by Tana French, her first novel in her crime series, and I thought it's absolutely creepy as it has a very dark greeny forest on the front, and it also says murder brings back memories, so you have two creepy things, the picture and the word murder. In the Woods is a book, or more like series, that is set in Ireland, and basically a detective, Rob, joins the police forces, and basically what we start to find out while reading it is that something happened 20 years ago in this tiny village in Ireland where 3 children went into the woods and only one came back out, the other 2 disappeared, and this one child, his name was Adam, and because everyone was kind of thinking that he had something to do with it, he gets sent away to boarding school. He changes his name to Rob, and Rob is the detective. And another girl all of a sudden 20 years later disappears and is found dead in the woods, the same spot where the 2 children disappeared. And now it's basically about people assuming that the murder of the girl has something to do with the murders of the children 20 years ago, and now it's also up to Rob, no one knows that he was the child who disappeared, to remember what actually happened 20 years ago and to figure out this mystery. This has been on my list for the longest time. Can you hear that? My cat scratching in the cat toilet. Prompt number 2 is read a paranormal / supernatural book. I don't have a lot of ghost stories, and ghost things are the first thing that comes to mind when I think about paranormal and supernatural. Second thing is witches. Don't have any books about witches either, which I think is really sad because I really want to read incredible witch books, but besides Harry Potter, I guess. So then I googled it, and apparently vampires, werewolves, that stuff, and fallen angels count as supernatural / paranormal. And as I'm currently reading a book about guardian angels and fallen angels, which is the Hush Hush series, and I finished the first one already, I wanted to read the second one, and what better time than a readathon that is about supernatural / paranormal. And it's, the second one is Crescendo, and the book I have has the most beautiful cover I've ever seen. It's this one behind me, and I mean, can you see the reflection in this? Absolutely stunning, I think. There's no point in me talking about what happens in the second one in case people haven't read the first one, but basically the Hush Hush series is about fallen angels and guardian angels, and our protagonist is Nora, the normal human girl who gets partnered up with this mysterious weird guy called Patch, and eventually she finds out he is a fallen angel, and loads of weird stuff happens. She blames Patch for it, so does her best friend, as Patch is very mysterious and Nora doesn't know a lot about him, but Patch seems to know a lot about Nora. And loads of weird things happen, and Nora is in danger, and what happens? I actually really enjoyed the first one. I'm so annoyed to admit that I actually really liked it, so I'm looking forward to reading the second one as well. Prompt number 3 is a book with a haunted house, and I thought I didn't have any, but in my opinion, Patrick McGrath's Spider is kind of about a haunted house, as a lot of this book is set in this one particular house where a lot of weird things happen. So Spider is set in 1957 and is about Dennis Clegg, who has moved into this boarding house 20 years after he actually lived there as a young boy. And in this house he writes his journal, and he has to live through his horrible past that actually led to him fleeing to Canada all that time ago. And while he already has so much trouble thinking about his past, while he's writing his journal he has a difficult time, because the house where he's writing and living in, he hears these weird noises in the attic, or more like this banging in the attic. On top of that, his body is changing and he is almost transforming, or we think it's transforming him into a spider, hence the name of the book. It's very creepy. I got recommended this book by my mum, who said it's an incredible book, but it's very, very creepy. So for me that counts as a haunted house. Prompt number 4 is read a book in the dark, so that leaves it open to your own interpretation, what kind of book you want to read. But to stick to the whole Halloween theme and paranormal stuff, I chose a book that has received a lot of hate and a lot of love, and I know it's been made into a movie, and as I'm thoroughly obsessed with vampires, I thought Summerween would be the perfect time to read Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead, even though her name sounds like it should be Michelle Reed, but if it's Rochelle Mead, fair enough. The majority of the booktube community slaughtered this book and said how horrible it is, so I'm not sure if I'm excited to continue or to start reading it, but as I've read Twilight about 5 million times and it's the only other vampire book besides House of Night that I have, I'll just suck it up and I will talk about my feelings about this book in another video, probably when I'm summing up this readathon, if I finish all the books. Prompt number 5 is recommendations by the hosts. Now, as a broke student, I don't have the funds to buy books right now, even though I bought loads of books the other day, but they were secondhand, so they were really cheap. So I will have to skip this prompt, and if I finish all the other books, even though I doubt it, I will probably continue reading in the Hush Hush series or probably move on to House of Night. So I'm very sorry to the hosts that I can't fulfill this prompt, but hopefully one day I can actually buy new books again. Actually, I just received Midnight Sun, so I might even read it for that prompt, because why not? Twisting the rules. So these are all the 4 books I'm hoping to read in the next week. If you're participating in the Summerween readathon, feel free to link me your videos, I'd love to check them out. And that's the end of mine. That's the end of my TBR list for this readathon. Count how many times I say readathon. I'll see you in a week. Well, you will see me sooner as I'm uploading more videos this week, but you will see me recommending or talking about these books in a week. Until then, check out my other videos.